So for the bump and roll, is typically a case, right? If he's up and postured like this and we can't control his arm, this is a good time to hip escape. But when he gives us this arm is when we really want to bump and roll. In order to trap this arm, usually two things are going to happen. Either he's going to put his hands on the mat. Actually, let's switch this way a little bit. He's going to put his hands on the mat, or he's going to try to put his hands in your collar to choke you. Those are the two times you're most likely to be able to secure an arm. If he tries to choke you and gives you his arm that way, how we're going to lock down this arm is boom, we're just going to grab right here at the tricep. You can grab a hold of the gi. I kind of just like to cup the tricep like this. Again, keeping my elbow tight. I don't want my elbow flared. Always keep my elbows tight pretty much in every position. Then I'm going to lock down on it with the other hand. I kind of pull down on it to take away some of the power of that choke as well. If he puts his hands on the mat, all I'm going to do is use an overhook to secure this arm. Boom. When I overhook it, I don't thread through or anything crazy like that. All I do is take my arm, so plant it on the mat, good arm from above. Yes, sir. Take my arm, chop at it, and all I'm doing is connecting my elbow to my hip. Boom. And then it kind of just frames on the side of his body. Try to pull that out. It's not coming. That's because my elbow is in tight to his hip, controlling it. If my elbow gets loosey-goosey, pull it out now. Pulls it out right away. So really make sure, no matter what grip, that you have that arm secured. Once you have the arm secured, so in this case, let's go to this one. Next thing I want to do is trap the foot on the same side. I see too many people just step over like this, and then they go to bump and roll, and they're able to pull it out and post. When you trap this foot, so go back to mount for me, please. What I want you to do is really actively, see how I make contact with it, and I'm actively trapping it, kind of pulling it in towards my butt. That really traps the foot. I just don't do this half lazy, not hooking the foot. I actually hook it here. Now I've taken away both posts on the same side. Now I can tip him to that side where he has no posts. Before I go to actually do the bump and roll though, the number one counter for the bump and roll is the person just takes their headline off center. This puts their weight on a diagonal. It makes it super hard to roll them. So after securing the arm and the foot, we need to make sure we get our heads parallel, right in line with each other before I actually go to do the bump and roll. If I don't, I swear, he's gonna be able to post out. But if I line up, boom. So now that we have the arm controlled, the foot controlled, and our head in line, we can actually worry about the bump and roll. When I bump hard over this shoulder. I don't necessarily like to bump straight up. It doesn't get his momentum going the direction I want it. So when I bump in bridge, I'm bumping it hard over this shoulder. Boom. Immediately, we're in his full guard now. We need to be cognizant after we make the sweep that we're in his guard, so we need to get posture, get control of his hips, and start to look to pass. So be thinking a couple steps ahead. Now, if he has the other grip where you put his arm on the mat, so like maybe you hip bump him, he puts his arm out, boom. Now we still have this free arm, so let's use it. So I'm gonna trap the arm, elbow to the hip, trap the foot, head's in line, and now as I go to bump and roll, I'm gonna use this arm extended to blast him right in the lap to even give him further push going the direction that I want him. So it looks like this. Boom. We can chain the bump and roll and hip escape together until we get out of the mount pretty much. So if I start to frame up and hip escape, boom, boom, if he's just gonna let me do it, that's fine. Sometimes you bump them here and you try to get on your side on a hip escape and they fall forward. Boom, that's fine. Now we switch to the bump and roll because he's giving us an arm. Trap the arm, boom. And it'll just take sparring in order to chain them together and get the feel how they flow together and work. Any questions?